This episode of the SkyPilot Project Weekly brought to you by WeVideo, the official online video editing software of the SkyPilot Project. This is episode 3 of the SkyPilot Project Weekly. So originally I was going to talk about education in the poor. However, something came up this past week that I thought really needed to be talked about. So we're going to talk about CableOne, their CEO, and why they seem to hate the poor so much. Okay, so CableOne is a local regional provider of obviously cable. They do cable TV, cable internet, cable phone. Thomas Might is the CableOne CEO, and he's the reason why I'm doing this podcast instead of the other one I had planned, the Daily Kos. Published an article about some words he had to say about the low-income customers that they have. As you can see, if you're watching the YouTube version, I'm going to read this for those who aren't watching the YouTube version. The cable industry already is infamous for its dismal customer service. However, that didn't stop Thomas Might, the CEO of CableOne, from bragging recently about providing even worse service to selected customers, the poor. Speaking at the JP Morgan Global Technology, Media and Telecom Conference last month, Might revealed that his company targets customers by their FICO credit scores. If their scores are low, customer service representatives are instructed to offer only minimal assistance. He goes on to say a few other things. I'll be linking to it in the podcast description. In this episode description. Yeah, it's not good. CableOne and its CEO and its board, every executive in that company has some explaining to do. They have come out and just blatantly said that their customers are of hollow value to them. Hollow value means they're not like a customer isn't likely to purchase additional products like movie packages or higher internet speeds or things like that. Yeah, they've got some explaining to do there. If you follow us on Twitter, I tweeted about this article. If not, you should be. And I also put it up on our Facebook page. Thomas Might, the CEO of CableOne, has a little bit of explaining to do here. He basically has stated that the poor doesn't matter to him. He's showing zero compassion. He's showing that the company only cares about the money. They only care about their profits. They're a for-profit business. Some of that is understandable. However, even for-profit businesses have to have compassion, and they're obviously lacking that now. Normally, I would say, so what? They're a corporate entity. They do what all corporate entities do. They ignore the poor and put all their attention on the rich, because the rich are the ones that have the money. In this particular instance, he's specifically speaking about poor customers, which is what got my attention. Low-income families and individuals rely on the internet to get information, to be part of the world, to do any number of things. But this article on the dailykos.com is rather enlightening. The cable industry as a whole has a systemic problem. Unless they're being forced to provide special programs for low-income families and individuals, they won't do it. They just don't. Comcast has a program, which I talked about in the very first podcast in episode 1. AT&T has one. Several of them do. Cable One, however, does not. Cable One doesn't care about its customers. I've used Cable One for years myself, and I can tell you firsthand, they don't care. As long as you're paying your bill, they really don't care. They generally tend to have substandard service. Their internet is never what it's advertised to be. And maybe that's just because I'm poor. You know, I work a full-time job. I actually work 2 jobs. I work a full-time and a part-time job, and I do this. And I'm still low income. It really is insulting that the CEO of a company would say such a thing, that low-income customers or customers with low credit scores don't deserve the same amount of attention as a customer who's more affluent, who might have that 820 or 720 credit score that they're looking for. It's really insulting, and frankly it pisses me off. This is the kind of stuff that the SkyPilot project is really kind of focused on, this kind of stuff right here. Not only are we focused on, at some point, doing the low-income apartment complex, but we're also advocates for the low-income, for low-income families, low-income individuals. That's what the SkyPilot project is all about. And this kind of stuff right here is why we do what we do, because Cable One has shown its true colors here. Cable One has shown what the entire cable industry basically thinks of the low-income family and of the low-income individual. They are going to have to do some serious outreach to fix this. And who knows, maybe they will, maybe they won't. They don't really seem like a company that has a lot of compassion or any common sense for that matter. The cable industry as a whole is an industry based and has a foundation of customers. Without customers, there is no cable industry. Without customers, there's no reason for the companies to exist. So for them to insult a very large percentage of their customer base is really just stupid. And it's going to bite them in the ass. So it's one of those things that we as low-income individuals deal with all the time. Whether it's trying to get a credit card or trying to get cable service in the first place, it's become very obvious that Cable One just doesn't give a shit. And they're not going to anytime soon either. And I hope that they will at some point fix it, because it needs to be fixed. Cable One is an example of the problem within the entire cable industry, within the entire service industry as a whole, whether it be the cable industry, the telecommunications industry, the media industry as a whole. Cable One is now that example of the greed and uncompassionate view that they have of the low-income family and individuals. And it's sad, really. I use Cable One myself, and it really upsets me, it angers me that a company that I'm paying money to is saying these kinds of things about its low-income customers, because that's just not cool. It's not. Although it is systemic of a problem that is throughout the entire cable industry. CableOne, AT&T, they both have programs for low-income families and individuals. However, those programs were only put into place because they were told they had to have them by federal agencies in order to complete other buyouts of other companies. And I think it's time that every cable company, every cable company have these kind of programs, be required to have these kind of programs that Comcast and AT&T and so many others have, because it's needed. For a CEO to blatantly just say, we don't care about our low-income customers because they don't have a high enough credit score. To me, that is no different than them saying that they don't want particular customers because of a particular culture or background or skin color. It's really no different in my opinion. I think that it's going to have to be something that's going to have to be dealt with. The SkyPilot project is going to be keeping an eye on this, and we'll talk about it again at a later date to give you guys an update. But it really is a difficult thing to try to talk about something like this in an even way, in a reasoned way, without getting just really angry. Because it's a company CEO, once again, insulting the low-income family, the low-income individual, those living in poverty, who are spending their hard-earned money on their services, and have the CEO basically say, yeah, you're giving us money, but it's not enough. We want more, and we know you can't give it to us, so we're only going to do what we have to because you're paying us money for what little bit of service you're getting from us. And that's really wrong. I hope that all of you will start tweeting and sending messages on Facebook and emailing the company and tell them that what their CEO has said is just wrong. It's already been out there for a month or more, just over a month now, and nobody's really been saying anything. I just read about it on the Daily Kos, so it made me change the subject for this week's episode. Please let us know in the comments. You can tweet us, you can get us on Facebook. We're pretty easy to get a hold of. Leave comments on the blog. Just let us know what you think of this particular subject, and let us know what you think of a CEO that really doesn't care. I mean, it's not uncommon. It's pretty systemic within everything. But to be so blatant about it, to basically say, yeah, we even have a system to isolate the poor from our more affluent customers, so we can only give them, the slightest little bit of customer service, where we'll give all of the customer service to our more affluent customers. And that is wrong. This episode is going to be a little bit shorter than usual because there's really not a lot more I can say about this. Although, before I go, I want to say thank you for listening. This is our third episode. We would very much like to thank WeVideo for giving us a way to do this, WeVideo is an awesome site. Go check it out, wevideo.com. It has everything you could possibly need to edit video online. So please go check them out. This is the SkyPilot Weekly, and I will see you next week with the subject I was going to do this week. So have a nice day.